Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is very fitting for December because I have personally been in a reading slump since October. So if you are in the same boat as me and you have been having a really hard time getting back into reading, this is a perfect video to give you some tips on getting back into reading. So I put together a list of things that always help me get out of a reading slump, especially what I've done lately to help me get out of this reading slump since I spent the entire month of November not reading a single book. These are just things that I have actively taken part of to help me get out of a slump. And slumps do happen. I absolutely hate when they happen. I think we can all relate to that because we enjoy reading and we want to keep reading. So when they take us out of our groove, it's very annoying, especially at the end of the year, but there is zero pressure and zero judgment when getting back into reading. So let's just have a chat on how reading slumps actually work and things that we can do to get out of it. So I have about 6 to 7 different rules, so we'll go ahead and start with rule number 1. Now rule number 1 is the biggest one, which is why it is ranked rule number 1. It's the thing that I did throughout the entire month of November to give myself a break. Don't force yourself to read. That may seem so insane because the whole point of getting out of a reading slump is to get yourself back into reading. But if you're not ready to read, there's no point in trying to get yourself to read. Reading is a hobby, it is not a chore. So if you genuinely do not feel like reading, there is no point in forcing yourself into reading. And honestly, sometimes your brain just needs TikTok, it needs Netflix, it needs to do something completely mindless rather than picking up a book. And that is okay. It's okay to give yourself a break because for me, and it may be for you as well, reading slumps kind of come at a time when you're feeling very overwhelmed. For me, there's been a lot of schoolwork and that's just been really stressful, really overwhelming that I haven't wanted to use my downtime to read, even though I want to read. It was so much easier just to log onto TikTok, to scroll on Instagram, to do anything other than picking up a book. And I had to allow myself that time in order to get back into a place where I felt like I wanted to pick up a book. Adding pressure to read doesn't actually make you want to read. If anything, it makes you uninterested in the books you're picking up, which will lead to constant DNFs, which will then put you further into a reading slump because everything you're trying isn't working. And it's okay to take a break. You're not a bad reader, you're just human and you need a break. So going into rule number 2, that is to ease your way back in. You don't just take a month off or 2 months or however long you need and just go right back into reading a whole book in a week. It just doesn't work that way. You're setting unrealistic goals for yourself. You need to start small and they need to be measurable. When you get back into it, don't expect to read 100 pages a night. Expect to read maybe 1 or 3 pages. That may seem like, what's the point of getting back into reading if I'm only reading 1 to 3? The point of doing that is to get yourself back into the habit of reading. All that really matters is the act of picking up a book. The more and the more you do it, the more your brain thinks about picking up a book rather than picking up your phone. It's setting a habit into place. You don't need to be perfect at it first thing. When you start it, you just need to build the habit. It's a way to give your brain a gentle reminder that reading is fun and it's okay to dive back into it, but just give yourself some patience and you'll get it with time. Rule number 3 is switching up genres. If you are the type, like me, who always picks up romance books, it can be almost like the same thing repetitively. Every story, every romance kind of just blend together and you forget what even happened in one book compared to the other. If you're always reading romance back to back to back, it's nice to give your brain a chance to get invested in a different story. So that can be picking up a fantasy book, that could be picking up a thriller. And honestly, by doing that, you might pick up something that you enjoy that you never thought you would enjoy. That happened to me back in October when I kept reading a bunch of romance books. I finally ended up picking up a thriller book. I read The Silent Patient, and that actually surprised me. It was so enjoyable because I'm not normally a thriller reader. Did I still end up getting in a reading slump afterwards? Yes, but it saved me a little bit from going into my reading slump sooner. And then moving on to rule number 4, this one may sound kind of contradictory, but it's actually not. It's going back to what you love. So if you do love romance books and you already know you want to read and you want to read a romance book, just pick it up. Or you can reread a classic, one of your favorites. Maybe you really like Harry Potter, Percy Jackson, Twilight. Maybe there's a certain fantasy series or a romance series that you absolutely love. You're already invested in the world. It ends up being a lot easier to read rather than picking up a completely new book where you have to learn the world, dive into the characters, and understand things. Sometimes it's just easier to go back to something you're already familiar with. And rule number 5 is to set the mood. This one, I promise you, is an absolute game changer. Every single time I set the mood, I have such a better reading experience. What that means is to kind of set a specific time on when you're going to read and just kind of make everything cozy. So, for example, my favorite time to read is definitely at nighttime. Dark outside, I can turn on my LED lights to a nice, cool, warm lighting. I'll get into bed, I'll have a bunch of cozy blankets next to me to make sure I'm nice and warm. There could be like a nice drink if you want, a snack if you want, and just make sure that the time is dedicated to reading. I'll even sometimes turn on my TV and have like ambiance playing or like soft music playing in the background just to really immerse myself into this is reading time and not time to pick up my phone. If you are a person who struggles with picking up their phone and scrolling on social media, it might be best to put your phone on Do Not Disturb or put it across the room where you can't reach because you're too busy being cozy in bed. When you create a cozy environment, it really does signal to the brain that this is reading time, and if you make it a routine, you'll look forward to it, and it's almost like self-care in a way because you're doing something for yourself that you enjoy. And then I don't know if I'd really consider this an exact rule, but I'll count it as like a bonus tip. But I really recommend watching other booktubers or book talk. This, for me, has been such a helpful thing. When you go online and you see people really enjoying something, they're talking about it. They're talking about the books they're going to read, why they're going to read them, what they've already read, what they liked about them. They're making cute little themed or aesthetic videos, and you can see how much they enjoy it. You want to enjoy it too, and it can really give you that push of like, you know what, I should read as well. I just really think it's important to surround yourself with the energy that you want to have. If you want to feel like a reader again, consume content made by readers. So, if you're in a reading slump right now, I hope this video made you feel somewhat seen and gave you some ways to get back into reading without any of the added pressure, especially since at the end of the year. If you're not close to your reading goal, it's okay. Nothing bad happens if you don't hit that number. You have to remember that a goal is meant to motivate you, not punish you. So forcing yourself to rush through books at the end of the year will just make your slump worse. So I figured I would end off this video with just talking about the book that I'm currently reading that got me back into reading. So it is The 7-Year Slip. If you follow me on TikTok at all, you've seen that I posted about this book back in September. That is how long this has been going on for me. I really had only gotten like 70 pages in, so I wasn't really that far in, but I'm working on annotating this with my best friend, and then we're going to gift it to each other. And I really wanted to read it, but that slump just hit me so hard that I didn't even feel like picking up a book, let alone annotating a book. That felt like so much more work than I even wanted to partake in. But I've been, kind of setting the mood. I've been watching booktubers. I took my break and I'm easing back into it. I'm taking all of my rules, and I would say in the past 3 days, I've been able to read 20 pages, which for me, that feels really good because now I'm in the place where I just want to keep picking it up. So 20 pages is soon going to become 40, it's going to become 100, and then I'll finish the book. So this is me using my rules in action, and I'm getting back into reading. Just a reminder that reading will find you again. It always does. So if this video was helpful at all, I would appreciate you guys giving it a like, leaving a comment for anything that I have missed that you feel really helps you out, because anybody else watching this video who's looking for more tips, they may take yours and use it. So that's pretty much it that I have for you today. All my socials, if you care to follow me on anything else where I post book content, will be listed in the bio down below. And you can subscribe if you're looking forward to any more videos from me. There might be a holiday type of Christmas video coming, but for sure there will be a 2025 yearly wrap-up coming. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope that if you were in a reading slump, these rules will help you to get out of it. I promise you, you will find reading again. Thank you.